following Michael Bisping's recent rant on his YouTube channel where he sided with Jack Della Maddalena and explained why he believes Jack is likely to defeat Islam Makhachev. Bisping didn't hold back, leaning towards the Australian in this massive showdown, which instantly stirred up mixed reactions online. Some fans jumped on it, saying he was taking shots at Islam, but that wasn't the case at all. He simply made it clear who he's leaning toward in this fight. And after all the chatter, Bisping circled back in an interview with Bloody Elbow to double down on his point. He explained that the champion, Jack Della Maddalena, shouldn't be counted out as such a heavy underdog, especially with the tools he brings into the cage. And after his impressive all-around performance against Bilal a few months ago, now all eyes turn to Madison Square Garden, where Jack Della is set for his first welterweight title defense at UFC 322. And he couldn't have asked for a bigger test than Islam Makhachev. Who do you think comes out on top in this championship matchup? Leave your comments below. Let's dive into Bisping's comments.
The crazy thing is that Islam Makhachev is quite a sizable favorite according to DraftKings, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure I saw that online earlier this morning. And I think that's a little bit disrespectful to Jack Della Maddalena. The man's on an 18-fight winning streak. He just beat Belal Muhammad. He defended all the takedowns there. He's beaten grapplers before in the past. Yes, Islam Makhachev is incredible, and he'd be another contender for pound number one, greatest of all time, whatever you want to call it. But Belal Muhammad was a perfect warm-up fight for Islam Makhachev. And with the boxing of Jack, if Islam was to stand with him, that'd be a bad idea. With Jack's boxing and the footwork that is associated with boxing, that's going to help him. That's going to be very advantageous. He knows how to defend the takedown. He knows what he's doing off his back. He can get back to his feet. So yeah, I understand why Islam is a slight favorite, because he's tried and tested and the greatest lightweight fighter that the sport's ever seen. Don't be surprised if Jack Della Maddalena gets it done.
Robert Whittaker calls out Dricus Du Plessis for a fight. Just weeks after DDP's crushing loss to Khamzat Chimaev, the middleweight picture is shifting again. Everybody knows Dricus isn't getting an immediate rematch with the champ, so now the focus is on who he'll face from the top 5. And out of all the names, Robert Whittaker has stepped forward, being one of the few to actually call him out. In a recent interview with Submission Radio, Whittaker explained that he wants another crack at DDP to give the fans a much better showing than the first time, because in that first fight he barely got going before being put out. It was a knockout that left everyone shocked and didn't really showcase what Whittaker brings to the table. On top of that, he also touched on the Caio Borralho situation. Caio had been going around saying Whittaker turned down a fight with him, but Rob finally set the record straight, making it clear that he was never even offered Borralho in the first place. If he had been, Rob says he would have gladly taken it, so that whole narrative is out the window. Now let's hear what Robert Whittaker had to say in an interview with Submission Radio.
Yeah, I do want to fight Dricus just because I want to make a better count on myself, and so right now my goals have, my trajectory's kind of changed. I've worked out, got a few fights left. The middleweight division in UFC is a world of opportunities. Doors open and close left and right. So I'm not shutting any doors, but I do understand the work I've got ahead of me, what my primary goal is, and everything else is just kind of gravy on top of that.
Caio kept telling me that, he was offered you and you turned him down, and then you took the RDR fight. Are you ever in talks to fight Caio Borralho?
Nah, not once. I was never offered him. Do you really think I would have been offered him and I would have said no?
Of course not, bro. You fought Yoel Romero twice.
It's not a ranking thing, obviously. Yeah, I just wasn't offered him. Nothing against him. Maybe he's been fed misinformation, but yeah, I was never offered him.
Fresh off his one-sided title win at UFC 319, Khamzat Chimaev wasted no time plotting his next step in the octagon. During the post-fight press conference, the new champion was full of energy, telling reporters he wanted to come back as soon as possible. He explained that he took no damage in the fight, his weight cut went perfectly, and his plan was to fight again in October at UFC Abu Dhabi on the Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane card. Not long after, Dana White took the stage at that same presser and backed him up, saying he loved the idea and wanted Chimaev to fight in Abu Dhabi. Everything looked like it was lining up for the perfect homecoming fight, but within the next few days, all the top middleweights got booked, and it became clear that Khamzat would not be fighting in October. In a recent interview, Ali Abdelaziz, the manager of top contender Reinier de Ridder, revealed that the UFC officially offered Chimaev a fight with de Ridder in Abu Dhabi. According to him, the promotion wanted it badly, but Khamzat himself turned it down, despite having asked for that exact opportunity just just weeks earlier. As a result, his first title defense is now pushed back yet again, with his return not expected until 2026.
How close were you guys to making this Renier D. Ritter Khamzat fight happen? Because I thought Khamzat said he wanted to fight again this year. What ended up happening, and why did it end up being Anthony Hernandez in the end?
I talked to the UFC. If Khamzat would have fought in October, it would have been Renier D. Ritter fight Khamzat. But Khamzat, said he's gonna fight next year. They offer Fluffy. D. Ritter said, you know what? I'm not gonna wait. I wasted a lot of my time in ONE FC. I want to keep going, making money, making improvement. And I said, I'm the best. I get the best out of me when you keep me active. And he took this fight, and now he's going to fight a very tough guy, Fluffy. And I believe he got all the tools to beat Fluffy. I think he's grappling on a different level. I think his size, I think his knees, he has too many weapons. But also Fluffy is really good. I'm not taking anything away from him. And it's going to be a very interesting fight for the fan.
Turns out the White House officials are actually calling a lot of the shots behind the scenes for the UFC's July 4th event. Dana White recently came out and made it clear that officials there are going to have more control over the event than we thought. And we're here to break down exactly what kind of control we're talking about. Well, we're talking everything from the staging and setup, like exactly where the octagon goes on the lawn, VIP seating, camera angles, lighting, and broadcast positions, to timing and scheduling, making sure the fights fit perfectly into the July 4th program. On top of that, security and access are a huge deal, with the Secret Service coordinating with UFC security to manage fighters, staff, and media in restricted areas. Presentation and branding are being dialed in too, with strict rules on what flags, decorations, and logos are allowed, and what's off limits. There could even be small tweaks to the rules or ceremony elements to fit the venue, though the fights themselves will stay standard. Basically, Dana's gotta balance keeping it a real UFC event while also playing by the White House's rules, making it look insane, safe, and slick for TV, and it seems he's pulling it off. As for which fighters will participate in this event, you can be sure fighters like Michael Chandler, Sean Strickland, and Sean O'Malley will be there. John Jones has shown interest too, but Dana's recent attitude toward him hasn't exactly been optimistic. What are your thoughts on the White House event in general? Drop your comments below. That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.